how was it for you, 2020? How did you have to change your own life and your own business process around it?
That's a good one. I remember on the 15th of Jan, we had a family vision sitting where we looked at the decade ahead, where we looked at 2030 from the 15th of Jan, 2020. And you know what? The first change is that in June this year, in the middle of the COVID conundrums and lockdowns and restrictions and whatnot, it dawned on me, and I think a colleague mentioned this, that COVID triggered a scenario where 2030 arrived in 2020. Not by my readiness, but by virtue of the default and the circumstances that required a leap in digitization, a leap in a shift of mindset, a leap in just the culture and how we define work and how we relate to work and how we relate to each other. That was really a shock on my end. And the second point is that there was now a level of resilience that I had to tap into, that I had begun forgetting that it was there. You know, we usually refer to COVID as a storm or a hurricane, and we refer to hurricanes as the ultimate building inspectors, meaning if you and I or the audiences were not building something with resilience, with concrete and with integrity, then COVID somewhat, it did it to me. It peeled away the layers, the onion layers, to almost put me on a couch and say, Shadrack, have you been building with legacy or you've been building with a sprint in mind? So while I'm very fortunate that our business is still here and we are pivoting, but there is a business unusual. COVID kind of like gave me a bit of a talk show interview and said, certain things have to go, Shadrack. And yes, I'm now reformed and reforming and changing because of COVID towards 2021. I'm just getting rid of dead weight in terms of habits that I cannot take into the future. There's lesser face-to-face meetings. There's also quicker meetings, but also meeting fatigue is something I have to manage. I never thought I'll manage that now. So it's just one of the things that I've had to handle. And the last point, automation anxiety had people biting their nails and say, oh, the robots are taking over. Then when they were pinned down at home, like myself, we realized maybe we need some intelligent automation. As per your discussion with your previous guest, maybe we need blockchain to secure the supply chain when I cannot go and police it in person. I need to know what ends up on my doorstep. Maybe we do need this emerging technology to just give us our humanity in a new form without the anxiety.
Wow, that's beautifully said. Absolutely, Shadrack. So what I talk a lot with my guests about is intelligent automation and digital transformation that only accelerated, right, in past few months.
That's correct.
Those who are not transforming, yes, they're definitely missing out, right?
Absolutely.
So with that said, we all went through in where we are, right? We all went through our digital transformation and our technology transformation in a lot of ways. And that is a good thing.
Definitely. And I love how you help to ground these things and kind of like humanize them and bring them a lot closer. In a similar way that COVID brought 2030, folded it into 2020, I sense that the trajectory of what you do tends to ground a lot of these intangible topics, which is why I appreciate, and I'm sure the audiences appreciate, which is why I'm glad to be here to help with that dialogue.
Thank you, Shadrack. You know, to continue what I'm doing here, just exactly that, getting rid of unnecessary. You know, we all had to do it this year, what you mentioned, right? And there are lots of
clearing the fluff.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I noticed
you are clearing the proverbial fluff. And look, we were due to empty our cupboards in terms of whatever thought patterns, whatever habits, and you are helping as a catalyst through these authentic dialogues, which I appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you. You're extremely kind.